Hello, everyone, and welcome to Harv's World, and welcome back to Pirates Bay Farm. Let's welcome John Brooks, Levi Frankel, Scott Green, Connor, Jimmy B, Jen Lachat, Cool, Cool Cycle Dad, and Bossy Lovegren, or Bose Lovegren, I'm not sure. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but welcome to Harv's World. Very, very happy to have you here. So, we've got our rum up and running. I'll tell you what, though, it's not running as quickly as I would hope. Not really running as quickly as I would hope at all. And I think in order to get that distillery to pay for itself, we are going to need to produce more than just rum. But I have to have the goods to be able to do that. Now, as you'll recall, I did have a canola field planted over here in field 44. That has come and gone. It's been a few days since we were last together. And some big things have happened in that time, let me tell you. So I did get the soybeans sold off. Made quite a good amount of money. But I also sold some equipment. Now that I have real live fertilizer, well, I picked up a new seeder. This thing was $225,000. And I still have $155,000 left, so you do the math there, but good money is coming. Oh, and silage. Silage, of course, is paying exceptionally well. I did get a bunker silo empty. I have the grass field harvested again. It's over there fermenting right now. Grass, and more grass, but who cares? It's making fertilizer for me. Now, as I said, we do need to get production going on more than just rum because, well, the distillery runs slow. The sawmill, barrel production, pallet production, all of that, man, it cranks that stuff out. Cranks it out. But not the distillery. In all this time, I still only have 13,000 liters of rum. Now, that's not very much. And I gotta tell you, that first night after the rum started flowing, well, I did wake up the next day with a hangover. Enough said. So, what do I need for production? Well, one thing I'm going to need to start whiskey production is barley. So I've got this brand new cedar, never been used, never been touched by human hands except by mine. Okay, I'm sure it's been touched by human hands, but you get the point. We're going to throw barley in this, and we're going to have all the barley we could possibly want. Then at some point, I'm going to need wheat to make spirits, and I also need potatoes to make vodka. Now, I could also make what they call met, which is actually mead. That requires honey. I suppose I could get honey production up and running if I really, really wanted to. I'm going to see how these four do first before I jump into a whole bunch of bees and getting stung all the time. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a worker on this field. It just makes the most sense to me because I've got a big job to do today. A very big job to do, let me tell you. So let's get him going. On field 44, I'm going to have him do 2 headland passes. And that looks pretty good. We'll back him up just a little bit so he can line up properly. There we go. That should do us. And we want him to start at the first waypoint. Drive, little helper. Drive like the wind. And there he goes. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And this is just as wide as my multi-seater kit was. Remember the one that I, had to spend an hour putting it all together and another hour breaking it down. But the great part about this is It's a direct drill. I don't have to waste time cultivating this field before I can plant it again. It's automatically up and running. There we go. Outstanding. Barley going in. We can get our whiskey done. So let me jump back up to the farm, and I'll fill you in on what's going on for the rest of the day. At least a good part of the rest of the day here in just a second. Because like I said, I need to get more types of alcohol cranking through that distillery so it'll pay for itself. And one of those types is vodka. And vodka requires potatoes. Well, it just so happens that for whatever reason, Lisbeth never harvested the potato field that I planted for her. It's been sitting over there. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened. All I know is there's potatoes in the ground, and she has asked if I wouldn't help her today to get them harvested. And I said, you know what? I'll make you a deal. I will help you if you sell the potatoes to me instead of to one of the places around the island. She said, well, how much do you want? And I said, well, the going price for potatoes right now is $200. I will buy 500,000 liters. Because I know potatoes take a lot of money. I mean, produce a lot. There's going to be a high volume of potatoes. And, well, she's already got the equipment here for me, but this is not Elizabeth. Hey, Anton, what are you doing here, man? I was expecting to work with Elizabeth today.
Well, Elizabeth got called away and she asked me to help you out today.
Oh. Did she say where she was going?
Nope.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll talk to her about it when she gets back. That works. Looks like she's got a couple harvesters for us to use here. So, I guess we might as well get going.
Yep, we probably should.
Which, are you going to go? Yeah, okay, you go down to that one. I'll grab this one. Doing a little bit of everything on Pineapple Bay, apparently. Oh, and this is nice, actually. It's got GPS installed. Very nice indeed. Well, it looks like I didn't quite get lined up with his track. We'll come back and get those, though. This is a good sized field, so we should get a goodly amount of potatoes off of this. Yeah, if she doesn't quite get 500,000, I will just buy everything she produces. But we're going to get some vodka running at least. Again, I've got barley and I need wheat. Wheat will make spirits, barley will make whiskey. In fact, we can look at that really quick as we open our distillery menu. Now this is the met production, or mead production, and we would need honey for that. That would be some high-scale honey production. I'm not sure I want to get into that. But I can do whiskey. All I need is barley. I can do vodka with these potatoes. And if I get some wheat out of the ground, I can do spirits. And all of that is going to ramp up production at the distillery and give me that much more product to sell. So keep your fingers crossed that, because you can see right here, now, rum has been producing for significantly longer than 14 hours. And it says rum production produces 1,000 liters per hour, but I've only got 14,000 liters. So I'm feeling like I need to get some of this other stuff ramped up and moving on. We'll see. We'll see how it sorts itself out. Anyway, we're going to get on with harvesting potatoes. I guess instead of Elizabeth, I get Anton today, but that works because I know he's a hard worker. We will get her done. Holy Moses. That's the end of this potato field. Thank goodness, because I think I'm done with potatoes. I hope they last a long time in the distillery. Because frankly, I don't ever want to harvest another potato again as long as I live. Even with two of us working this field, it has taken forever. Forever. Now, not that it's bad riding in a potato harvester per se. It just takes forever. So I guess the only thing left to do is get these down to the distillery. One last run. Looks like Anton's all set to follow me over there. Get these unloaded. See exactly. I don't even know how much we pulled. I know I'm going to pay Elizabeth $100,000. I told her I'd take 500,000 liters at $200 per 1,000. So I'm going to pay her the 100,000 for these potatoes or thereabouts, depending on, because I don't know that we got 500,000 liters. I don't think we did. But so far, every potato, every spud has gone to the distillery for vodka production. We'll see what we've got when we get down there. Actually, the distillery holds 500,000 liters, exactly the amount I wanted to buy from her, so I know. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know that we don't have 500,000 liters. But she will take care of Anton, since she brought him over to fill in for her today. You know, that's a scary-ass bridge. You know, that's a scary bridge. And, well, it doesn't even faze me anymore. I must have crossed that bridge a few hundred times by now. It's no small trek between the farm and the industries. And I'm not going to make you sit through it all. We'll catch back up when we get down there. So looking at our vodka production, we've used some, I'll say 380,000 liters is what's technically been entered in there. So we're about to dump in another 80,000 liters, so that's about 460,000 liters of potatoes that came off of that field. That's going to keep vodka production running for hopefully a good long time, but will also improve distillery production so we can make better money off of it. Again, I'm into Elizabeth for almost $100,000 at this point, which I will pay her a little bit later. Give Anton a chance to drop his load over there. We're going to run these trailers back over to Elizabeth's farm and see where we're at. Well, that was quite the potato harvest yesterday. Wasn't that much going on the farm that, well, I kind of took the rest of the afternoon off. Well, that's not entirely true because I did get field 44 completed. It is fully seeded with barley, which we can look forward to make our whiskey. And so it's just a matter of letting that field grow at this point. Now, I talked to Elizabeth on the phone last night. I was concerned. It's not like her to just not show up, and it appears that her mother had fallen ill, and she's actually not on the island right now. She had to go visit her mother. But she did ask if I would look in on her farm today because she's got a couple of fields, small fields nearby that need to be cleared. And I asked her if she would make a deal with me or well, I asked her if I could lease one of her fields, because I only really need a small one at least to get started, so that I could plant some wheat. We get some wheat going, then well, I can get spirits producing in the distillery also. So that will give me 4 products in the distillery: rum, vodka. The barley comes in, we'll have whiskey, and then wheat will give me spirits. So that will force the distillery to work harder and produce more and pay for itself. Because while making the rum was my ultimate goal, I've accomplished that particular goal, but now I need these industries to pay it back, if you will. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna warn you, this is no Pirates Bay farm. She's got quite the operation down here. Look at all this. Now, to be fair, she's been in this business for a much longer time, but yeah, look at the storage she's got down here. I need to draw some inspiration from her, I think. Well, until I know exactly what I'm dealing with here. Hey, she's got a nice big cedar right there. Very nice. But I'm just going to park up over here for the moment and get over to her field and get working on that. It shouldn't take long. These are smaller fields. They're not the size of mine. I mean, she's got the big potato field that we cleared over on the other side of the island by my farm, but she also owns this beast. I think we all know how she got this on the island. Oh wait, what can I say? I've gotten some equipment the same way. She has much better ins with those folks than I do. And frankly, after that last experience with the slurry spreader, I'm not sure that I'm very interested in pursuing that avenue anymore. It kind of creeped me out, if I'm honest. But I'm going to clear this field. Looks like soybeans. Soybeans in both. I'm going to clear both these fields on this bright early morning on Pineapple Bay. Well, I don't know what that girl's been doing down on these fields. But it doesn't look like much. These fields are in horrible, horrible condition. I haven't even dropped off the soybeans to her silo yet because I was so focused on doing what I needed to do to get these into some kind of plantable shape. I mean, the fields were littered with weeds. Hadn't had lime in months, or so it seemed. Yeah, there was no way I was going to come in here. You know, I thought, oh, yeah, I'll come over. I'll lease her fields, whatever, and just come over and plant some wheat. Oh, no, it can never be that simple. With her big harvester, it didn't take long to get them harvested. But you can see both of these fields. Now, they're not big fields, and we are talking about soybeans here, but, you know, 30,000 liters total. She's not going to make a lot off that. I mean, not that that's my business or anything, but oh well. That is in fact her business. But getting the fields up and running again, that kind of is my business since she agreed to let me use them. Get this truck put away, and then I'm going to see about, yeah. I mean, I had to go back to my farm and get a lime spreader. I couldn't even find one on her farm. So I don't know if she just has in mind that that's the way things are on the island. I mean, as far as the fertilizer goes, you know, they haven't been able to get their hands on it, so I don't know if they didn't. I'm just speculating. Just speculating. I'm just going to put this right back in here with the other one. Just leave the truck too. Ah, this is turning into a much more hectic day than I anticipated. At least she has this bright, shiny new fast track. I'll take that all day and twice on Sunday. Alright, let's see what we're up against on this cedar. Okay, well, she did have seed and she had seed in storage. I had to come over and dump my fertilizer into her seed and fertilizer unit over there, but at least we're full up. I don't know how long this wheat seed's going to last me, but we'll see. We will find out. Now, one thing that I found out that's interesting recently, and we haven't talked about pirates yet, so we're going to get there. Just a little bit. But we're not going to talk specific pirates today. I was actually curious about what's out there, or what's, you know, what might be missing, or what was found when it comes to pirate treasure. Because it does get found from time to time, usually in shipwrecks. But I came across a very interesting story that's not from the golden age of piracy, but about 100 years later. But it actually has to do with something that happened in the not too distant past. It's a family by the name of Lopez, living in South Florida. I want to say Tampa, but I'm not 100% sure that's correct. Anyway, they decide to do some spring cleaning, go up into the attic, and they find a small wooden box. You know, a little bit bigger than a cigar box. And lo and behold, inside of this box is a map that has the name Gaspar written on it. Gaspar, Gaspar. Also inside the box are some old, very old gold and silver coins. You know, like you would expect from the 1800s, that kind of thing. And the third thing, and this is what makes it particularly interesting and creepy, and I'm missing that. This drives me nuts. I have to fix it because it will make me crazy if I don't. The third thing that they found in the box that's especially creepy, they found a genuine severed hand with an old signet ring still on the finger. Now that's pretty freaking creepy, I have to tell you. And it made me want to find out more about who this Gaspar was. So it turns out that Gaspar was either a Spanish or a U.S. naval officer. Stories do not coincide on this. Who ended up turning to a life of piracy. And in fact, during his final battle, when he finally fell, they say he wrapped an anchor chain around his waist, flung the anchor into the sea, and said something along the lines of, "Gaspar dies by his own hand." He knew he was outgunned, outmanned, whatever you want to call it. He was out everything, including life, apparently. So this became the legend of, and I guess his pirate name was Gasparilla, Gasparilla. And of course, if you find something like this, you want to authenticate it. You take it to historians, you take it to people who know about pirates, take it to whoever you think is going to tell you exactly what it really is. Well, as it turns out, the map with the name Gaspar is just an old street map, apparently, of the area with the name handwritten on it. The old coins, these historians agreed, weren't the right weight to be appropriate for the time period. But the most interesting fact of all is that they don't even believe this Gaspar existed. They believe it's an old folk legend. And supposedly it was told by a guy who was on the ship with him. He was, one of the surviving crew members or whatever you want to call it. But they can't find anywhere else to verify the claim. There's no way to determine who Gaspar was or what he was up to, or there's no record of his existence. So it seems like it's all a big hoax. But even if it is, he is a famous, very famous folk legend in certain Florida communities because there are festivals in his honor. And this goes back to what I've been saying in the past, these guys are horrible, brutal, evil men, and we've turned them into legends and heroes. So, and even the ones that aren't real. I mean, we could argue that even today, Captain Jack Sparrow is one of those guys that makes piracy look like a lot of fun. But then we have to go back to the fact that most of these guys didn't last 5 years. Most of them were lucky if they made it to the 2-year mark. It was a hard, and not only were they harsh men, it was a hard life. Can you imagine being stuck on a ship for months at end? We're not talking about, princess cruises here, where you've got swimming pools and bars and lounges and buffet dinners and gambling. Okay, there was probably gambling, but you know what I'm saying. This isn't a freaking pleasure cruise. These guys are out there fighting for their lives, their very existence. Because they're crazy. Well, these fields might just turn into something after all. They're starting to look pretty darn good, actually. But I didn't expect to spend my whole day over here. Well, it's not like I've got a lot going on my farm right now anyway. Elizabeth needed the help. I don't envy her sick mother. Obviously, that would just be silly, wouldn't it? But clearly she needs some help. And I don't know. This is one of those situations where you go, what the heck's been going on over here? Because she's obviously not been taking care of these fields. How long did that potato field sit before Anton and I took care of it? She's got no shortage of money. I mean, I just gave her $92,000 for the potatoes I took off that field yesterday. That's what it ended up being, was $92,000. It wasn't quite the $100,000 I thought it would be. I thought we'd get a lot more potatoes off that, but we didn't. Anyway, I'll just see what I can do to help her out. I guess that's the important thing. That's what friends do, right? We help each other out. Supportive in times of need. Supportive in times of not need, just because we're friends. Anyway, let me knock these fields out. Okay, I've officially got wheat planted in both of these fields. And you know, I have mentioned this before. But now you can see. Yeah, and I'm sure you've probably seen it before too, but the weeds here are just so aggressive. Incredibly aggressive. I missed a tiny little rinky-dink spot right there. Again. Probably wouldn't amount to 1 liter of wheat, but it will drive me batty if I don't take care of it. Anyway, yeah, I mean, look at this. The weeds are crazy here. They're just nuts. Absolutely nuts. So where do we stand at this point? Well, let's take one last quick look. Most of my industry is shut down because it's full. Pallet production's full, barrel production's full, the sawmill's full. Fertilizer's just going to keep making. The distillery, however, vodka, 14,000 liters. So over the last day, it's cranked out quite a bit. Now this says vodka will make 1,000 liters per hour. It's definitely not putting out that much. It might be doing half that, 500 liters per hour. So I don't know where the discrepancy is there. Rum is the same way. Now it's really starting to build up. We're at 28,000 liters of rum, but it's still not producing 1,000 liters per hour. So again, I'm not entirely sure. It's probably more like 500 liters per hour on the rum too. Anyway, I'm going to get Elizabeth's equipment put away, cleaned up a little bit, get my equipment back up to my farm, look into weeding those wheat fields. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of Pirates Bay Farm. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. I very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.